Let me just make sure I've got.
Wait for that truck. I told you. Massive truck.
We're outside.
No, watch out. Okay. Where's that? Go ahead.
Okay, if you could please, looking at me, tell me and say and spell your first and last name.
Bob Conan, B-O-B-K-O-H-N-E-N.
And talk to me about your relationship with Mr. Clarence.
He is my father. Clarence is my father.
And what are you and your dad doing that has brought us here today?
We are going to see a memorial up in Washington, D.C. Many memorials.
And so this is part of the Honor Flight program. And can you tell me a little bit about how you found out about the Honor Flight program and how you got involved, so you got your dad involved?
Well, the Honor Flight program, I've heard my father talk about it for a couple of years, wanting to go, and it's like one thing after another would happen. We didn't have a chance. A buddy of mine, best friend up in Lima, Ohio, his father is also a World War II vet. He was in the Air Force, and we got to talking here a couple of months ago how it'd be great to do this for our fathers. And we just proceeded on there and went on with it. And here we are today.
And when you found out it was official, that you could make this opportunity a reality for your dad, when you first told him, what was that like?
Quite nervous telling him about the program. He was very happy that we are going through with this. He was glad.
And also, so you're going to be going on a tour, you're going to see a bunch of monuments, and there's one particular monument that holds special significance as it relates to your dad and his service. Which monument is that, and why is it special?
That's the World War II monument, and that's very special to me because that's the war my father fought in. And proud to go there to see it with him.
And what's the significance of that, of you both seeing it for the first time in person?
Wow, that's a hard one to answer. I know, it's just going to be amazing. So excited.
So, and there's a lot of traveling here. You are going to be flying, there's going to be some bus, there's going to be some walking. This is a lot of travel for you and your dad. What's that like? Is it kind of fun to kind of, be kind of moving around, jet setting a little bit? Are you looking forward to that aspect?
Yeah, as far as the traveling, and then flying in the buses, and then just spending that quality time with my father, more or less alone. It's something we haven't done for a long time, and really ready to wait for this.
And to that note, so this is something that was obviously a big part of your father's life. He actually, if I understand correctly, he left while you were a baby and came back shortly after you were, just before you were 2, I think.
Correct.
1 and 2. So now, this kind of comes full circle years later. Can you, with this coming back years later, does this build like a special bond for you and your dad, or what does this do for your relationship?
Well, yeah, I think it does build a bond, knowing that he did see me when I was a few days old, and then didn't see me for another whole year. And I think the bonding, I think, brought that on.
And this monument that you're going to go see, what is the significance of this monument? The fact that there's a huge piece of history somewhere that stands specifically to recognize your father. What does that feel like?
Well, it feels great. For him, for me, and other World War II vets, for the honor that they put into this, for all the men.
And also, as we talked about earlier, there's going to be people who are recognized from other memorials as well.
Yes.
The Korean Memorial, as well as some who are also going because of their health condition. So it might be, not in this case, but it might be their last opportunity to do something like this. What is the significance of a program like this existing to recognize these men who've done so much for the country?
Well, believe to be for what they all fought for. It was all war. They all fought the same thing for the United States. The World War II, the Korean War.
Hold on, would you mind starting over just one, same thing you were saying, just to make sure we got that. Again, the significance of this program, giving back to these men who've done so much.
Well, with all the different wars, the significance of it is how proud the whole country is of them, and for the wars they fought, for their families, especially the memorials, for the deceased members. Which I am taking things for a World War II vet, one for a Korean vet, which was my uncle. And we're going to post that and have some picture taken for him and for his family.
So you're going to be posting some pictures. Tell me a little bit about what you're looking forward to about this trip.
Well, just the history of everything. The history of the United States is really, right there. All the different monuments and the different wars that were put on for what reasons. And I think the World War II was a very, very important war for the United States.
And what do you think will be your biggest takeaway from this trip? When you get back, if you could guess, what will be the one thing that you look back on as something that will be really special for you?
Wow, that's a hard one to answer. It's just everything. Everything. And I think the sights of other people's eyes.
Sorry, a big truck passed by. Tell me one more time. It's everything you were saying.
It's everything. The excitement telling everyone, especially about the trip, what I've seen, and time I did spend with my dad, and all the different memorials. I think it's well needed for everyone.
And also, if you could just tell me again, if you don't mind, how old are you and how old is your dad? And from what you understand, how old are the majority of these veterans?
I am 68. My father's 94. The youngest World War II vet is about 84 years old.
Wow.
So
Hold on one second. Is that you, Bob? No?
no,
Okay. Go ahead.
no,
So speaking of your gigantic family here, everyone seems to love this guy so much. Not only does he have a huge monument, but he's got about 14 living monuments here that are testimony to him, as well as all the other offspring. What does it mean talk about your family's appreciation for your dad?
That's gigantic appreciation. The way we were raised, morals that Dad imposed on us, that we live by them. And you can see to this day, it's true, how we all still bond together. Once a month, everyone meets for dinner. And I think most of the time, there's at least all 10 girls are here. My one brother, who lives here also in Cincinnati, attends. I come down every so often. I have a brother in Roanoke who attends, maybe once or twice a year if he can make it. And so this just shows you how close our father is to all of us. And
if you could say, from what you think, how do you think this love makes your dad feel when everyone's kind of hanging out around and appreciating him and stuff?
Well, I think it makes him feel great. I think that's why he's 94 years old and still gets around and has the memory of everything that he's got and remembers everything. And I think that has a lot to do with it.
And this trip, what do you think this trip will mean for him?
I don't think you can put it in words what's going to mean to him. Knowing the family that's behind him, relatives and friends that know about this, and everyone just, think it's what an honor to do something like this, and that's what we're looking forward to.
And if you could tell me a little bit more about your process getting ready. So you packed up. Did you have any last minute preparations? What was it like getting ready to go on this trip?
Well, first of all, deciding how the weather was going to be. what to take and things like this. No, I didn't have to go out and buy anything. I had everything pretty well needed. Did bring a duffel bag for my father, and we will get that packed up for him later on today.
And earlier you mentioned your friend who kind of was connected to how you got involved with this program up in Lima.
Lima.
Excuse me.
Mhm.
What is the significance for him and for all of the relatives of these men who are being celebrated, who, like in your case, will actually get to make this trip back? For all the living relatives of these people, what do you think is special about that?
Well, I think the special behind that would be just honoring the fathers, you know, in World War II, all fathers really. And like I said, Jim's father is up in the ages, and that's why we pushed to get this going and get it going now.
Any questions that you can think of?
No.
No. And is there anything else on your mind when you think about this trip, and the voyage that you're going to take and the significance of it? Anything else come to mind about going?
Well, yeah, long trip, I think it's, well, as I said earlier, quite an honor. And to see, you know, all the memorials, the changing of the guards and things like that, I think that's special. And hopefully when I get back, I can tell the country, go see this. Go see these memorials. People who have fathers that were in World War II, take them and do it. That's what I want to get across.
And also, I mentioned this earlier with your dad, but the fact that a lot of this trip comes from just, you know, people wanting to give back to vets, especially with this, one of the local school districts. How does it make you feel that, you know, a lot of the community is so, you know, forward with their appreciation for vets like your dad?
Well, the contribution that the schools are giving, really, it is helping. I went to a meeting for the honor flight last week in Kettering, Ohio. Kettering School collected $2,600 to give to the honor flight, which was able for 2 of the students to go on this trip, which I thought was amazing. There are students who really want to see this, that they respect the service, and was great.
So it's going to be sons, it's going to be vets, it's going to be students. Everyone's going to be able to kind of participate in this in some way.
Yes, everybody will participate, yep.
And I guess my last question, if you could tell me again, what are some of the things that you are looking forward to about tomorrow? Like, what's one of the things that you can't wait for?
Well, I think the trip up to begin with, the ride around Washington, D.C., and seeing all the monuments, seeing the expressions on the vets' faces when they see the memorials. I know there is one going who is from Vietnam, who is an invalid and terminal. He will be on this trip, and I think it's going to be great that he can go and wait to see the expressions on his face.
And if you could also speak against the significance of your family being here to kind of send the 2 of you off on this trip.
Overwhelming for the family to be here, and what it's going to mean to all my brothers and sisters, nieces, nephews, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren. I think it's going to be something the family will never forget.
Okay. Anybody have any questions that maybe Bob can answer that you're thinking about this as it relates to the trip? Are you nervous about anything happening?
No, I'm not. I was nervous about this, and that was it.
Well, it's over, so congrats.
All right.
Thank you.
Don't say